John Updike, born in 1932, was a prolific American author, poet, and literary critic. He is best known for his Rabbit series of novels and novellas. Other well-known works include Olinga Stories and The Witches of Eastwick. His works reflect a deep understanding of the American middle-class life and would often revolve around the mundaneness of everyday life. Updike bagged several prestigious awards including the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction, which he won twice. He was one of only 3 writers who won the Pulitzer more than once. The short story Should Wizard Hit Mommy revolves around a father who would tell his daughter the same story every day with slight variations to get her to go to sleep. One day, he changes his usual plot. His daughter disapproves of the new ending and insists that he change it. The story raises a few unusual questions and highlights the clash between parental authority and children's desires. It also brings to the fore the complex nature of human relationships. Here is a summary of the story Should Wizard Hit Mommy by John Updike. Jack, the protagonist of the story, would tell his daughter, Joanne, a story every day at bedtime and on Saturday afternoons to get her to sleep. These stories used to be created instantly in his head and would always follow a similar plot. There would be an animal named Roger who would go to the wise owl with a unique problem. The wise owl would direct Roger to a wizard for a solution. The wizard would solve the problem and would ask Roger for more money than he had. He would also tell Roger where to find the extra money. Roger would find it, pay the wizard, and run off to play with his friends. Afterwards, Roger would go home and have dinner with his parents. Jack would describe this dinner, and the story would be over. Of late, Jack had begun to find these storytelling sessions tiring, especially on Saturdays. Joanne or Joe never fell asleep anymore. One Saturday, Jack started to tell Joe the story of Roger Skunk, who smelt so bad that the other animals made fun of him and refused to play with him. Jack drew on his own childhood memories to detail how the others made fun of Roger Skunk. He believed that his daughter should be aware of the realities of the world and was pleased to see that this detail had the impact he desired. Jack then continued with his usual storyline. Roger Skunk went to the owl and the wizard. The wizard changed Roger's smell to that of roses, and Roger played happily with all the other animals. Joe interrupted the narration several times. Once she asked if magic was real. Jack assured her that it was real in stories, noting mentally that Joe was in a new phase, one of questioning what was real. Intermittently, Jack could hear his pregnant wife Claire shifting furniture downstairs and felt that he should hurry downstairs to help her. He was not happy with her doing heavy work even though she was pregnant. As he reached the end of the story, Jack noticed that Joe's attention had started to wander. He didn't like it when women did not listen attentively to him and decided to change the ending of the story. He told Joe how when Roger Skunk reached home, his mother was very unhappy that he smelled of roses. She said that he didn't smell like himself, so she wanted the wizard to change the smell back. This shift in the story troubled Joe because she remembered how the other animals had treated the smelly skunk. Despite Joe's objections, Jack related how the mother skunk hit the wizard on his head and got him to change the skunk's smell back. Joe was displeased and wanted the wizard to hit the mother skunk on the head and refused to change the smell. However, Jack ignored her and ended the story as usual. The skunk family had dinner together, and at night Roger Skunk's mother hugged him, telling him that he smelled just like a skunk should and that she loved him. The other animals eventually accepted Roger Skunk just as he was. Unhappy with the new ending, Joe called the mother skunk stupid. Jack emphatically defended the mother skunk, almost as if he was defending his own mother. Jo then asked Jack to tell her the same story the next day, but with the ending she wanted. She insisted on this till Jack left the room. When Jack finally went downstairs, his wife was painting a chair. Around them, half of the woodwork was done in one color, the other half in another color. As he stood there, Jack felt caught as if in a cage. He realized that his wife was in the cage with him too, but he just wanted to stay away from her. The main characters of Should Wizard Hit Mommy are Jack and his daughter Joanne. Click each label to learn more about the characters. Jack is quite devoted to his daughter, Jo. He has been telling her stories to get her to sleep ever since she was 2 years old. Jack is not particularly imaginative because he has been telling his daughter the same story over and over, with only the animal changing from story to story. Jack is also authoritarian. He does not always like Jo's interruptions and even asks her if she would like to narrate the story herself. Towards the end, when she does not stay in bed, he threatens to spank her. Jack is most probably deeply attached to his mother. This is evident from the way he defends the mother skunk and insists that she was right. Finally, it is apparent that Jack is quite chauvinistic. He is described as a person who likes women to hang on to his every word. He changes the ending of the story only to get Jo to pay attention to him. His annoyance with his wife for moving the furniture can also be seen as a result of his chauvinistic attitude. Joanne is Jack's daughter, who is about 4 years old in the story. Joanne is an intensely curious child. While Jack is telling her the story, she has a constant stream of questions. Joanne is also quite strong-willed and has an opinion of her own. She insists that the wizard should hit the mother skunk and refuse to change Roger Skunk's smell back. This also indicates a sensitivity to others, or may indicate how she herself feels, since she dislikes the fact that the skunk was shunned by other animals because of his smell. Now let us examine the story closely. The story, set in an average American middle-class household, was published in the late 1950s. This was a time when existing gender roles were being questioned in the USA. This changing social milieu and the discomfort that it caused is reflected in Jack's relationship with Jo and Claire. The major theme that develops in the story, as posited by the title, is the conflict between a child's perspective and that of the parents or of adults in general. Joanne reacts strongly to the fact that the animal in the story is ostracized by his friends for being different. The child's reaction is that it is better to fit in than be seen as different. This is why Joanne has a strongly negative reaction to the mother skunk, who makes the wizard change Roger Skunk's smell back. In Jo's opinion, parents should help to make the child's life more pleasant rather than make it difficult. This is why she wants an ending where the wizard hits the mother skunk back and refuses to remove the rosy smell. In contrast to this is Jack's parental perspective. It is the parent's role to help the child come to terms with his or her personality and to preserve the child's individuality. Also, given their age and experience, they know what is right for their child. The question raised in the story is meant to make the readers consider both perspectives with regard to the fact that both are equally valid points of view. The story also highlights the complex nature of human relationships, especially those within a family. Jack, as a parent, wants his daughter to agree with his perspective on things, forgetting that she's a 4-year-old, not an adult. He has a chauvinistic mindset, which makes it difficult for him to accept his wife's independent behavior and makes their relationship an unloving one. He feels trapped in his relationship with his wife, though he feels love towards his children. Though not a dominant theme, the story also throws light on the boredom caused by the routine nature of everyday life. Like Jack's stories, his life also seems to have a largely fixed plot line. With a third child on the way, he feels trapped by his responsibilities. This is also perhaps why he feels caught in an ugly middle position. The narrative uses the story within a story structure. This double narrative fulfills multiple functions. Roger Skunk's story functions as a moral lesson for the listener of the story, Jo. She is expected to learn the importance of accepting one's flaws as they are. The story of Jack narrating Roger Skunk's story functions as a lesson for us, the readers. Among other things, it makes us think about the differences in perspective between an adult and a child.